And Learn. I'm Jillian Graber, Executive Director of Protect PT, and we're really thankful to have our summer interns here. We do this every year where we highlight our summer interns, which is usually our biggest internship class, throughout the year. And we highlight the work that they've been doing this summer with us. So just kind of to give everybody a little bit of an overview of what our internship program is like. Let me go to, there we go. Okay, so just a little bit about our internship program. We seek socially and environmentally conscious people who are strong educators and really have a passion for working in the community, areas of science, in community organizing, sustainability, communications, environmental policy, and environmental law. And so based on this information, we look for folks that also have our core tenets. And so anybody that works with Protect PT, whether it be our staff or our volunteers, board members, and of course our interns, have to really have these different qualities that we look for in folks in order for them to be really successful in the time that they have here with us. So when we interviewed each of these folks, they had what it took. And so they were able to join our internship program for the summer, and we're really lucky to have them. But those core tenets include creativity, quality communication, education and leadership of others, culture of service, relationship building, adaptability, and effective time and project management. So all of the folks that you're gonna meet today really embody those core tenets that we look for. And just a little bit about our internship program. So we started our program in 2019. We offer unpaid internships and for course credit. Occasionally we'll do some paid internships, but it's usually with a specific project or grant. We offer an internship position that will work around a student's schedules. And of course, not just, school schedules, but sometimes interns have to have a job, a part-time job as well. So we really try to meet their needs and what they need to have met during the time that they have with us. We offer internship programs in the fall, summer, and spring. And internships available really all year. And you can sign up on our website if you're interested. But interns are expected to work anywhere from 10 to 15 hours per week. If we have an intern that has a specific course requirement, that we will definitely meet those course requirements. That's like one of our number one things, is to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the internships that apply and are offered a position. So here's a picture of some of our previous interns. We've had a lot of interns over the years, and we're really thankful to have the class that we have for this summer, because they're really great interns. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the work they've been doing. But in general, some of the internships that we do have, we have just a general internship, typically doing some community organizing and kind of picking up where we need help here and there. We have our environmental policy and advocacy intern. We have our digital media and outreach intern, environmental science and research internship, and typically we have more than one of these every summer. And we have our legal reading and writing and research internship, and then our community organizing internship. So that kind of just gives you an overview of the different positions we have available here. And of course, if you're interested in applying for a future semester, this is some information in order to apply. So you can just go to our website, to our internship page, and apply. We're currently looking actually into the fall semester, 2025 fall semester. And so folks should apply before 9/1/2025. So there's some helpful dates for you right there. So with that, I'm going to actually hand it over to Mackenzie to talk a little bit about her work. Here is our legal writing and research intern. So hello, Mackenzie.
Hi. So, my name is Mackenzie Linderman, and as Jillian said, I'm Protect P's legal research and writing intern this summer, and I'm going to be a second year student at the University of Georgia School of Law. Prior to this internship, I really wanted to work in environmental law and kind of get my lay of the land there. And this internship has given me the ability to do so. And I was interested in environmental law because I just love being outside in the outdoors, and I'm also interested in sustainability. And I chose specifically to work or apply, I guess, to Protect PT because I wanted to work on issues in the Pittsburgh community.
Yeah, and just to kind of go over some of the things that Mackenzie is working on, do you want to go over these two main things that you've been working on and maybe just give us an idea of some other things that you've been working on throughout the summer?
Yeah, so I think the biggest one for me was the win we got in Plum with the Sadat well, specifically because I'm from Plum, and so I really enjoyed working on that project with Dylan and our staff attorneys. So that basically was the Plum Zoning Hearing Board denying the expansion of a well in Plum, and so that was really cool to see. And then the other big thing that has occurred this summer is with Draculic. As people probably know, the permit for Draculic was accepted, and so we're doing a little bit of an appeal right now. I've gone to do some research and writing based on the Draculic appeal, but I think this was a really big deal, specifically at Protect PT, just because the whole organization was started off the Draculic well pad. Um, Other than that, I've gotten to do a lot of different things. I think my favorite thing about working at Protect PT is that you get to do what you're interested in a way in relation to community service and impact. I've gone to Canvas and I've also done some legal research related to conservation and MOC, the Municipal Authority of Westmoreland County. And so I've gotten to do a little bit of things with water conservation, canvassing, and then mostly fracking injection wells.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mackenzie. And yeah, we're excited to finish your internship here in the next month or so. And yeah, next up, we're going to talk to Sophia. Sophia Shields is our environmental policy intern. So go ahead, take it away, Sophia.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Sophia. I'm the environmental policy intern. I'll be entering my senior year at Pitt studying environmental science and political science. I ultimately want to go to law school to specialize in environmental law. And I law school has been kind of like a recent like venture for me, but I think Protect PT has given me insight into like the importance of environmental law. Um, and I was really interested in this internship because of how much Protect PT works in. Like, you really can learn so much about so many different areas, especially in my role and working under Lauren. So it's been so great this summer to learn so much and be surrounded by such passionate people that work here. And then some things that we're working on. I think my favorite part about working here is, again, how the variety of things you get to do. So I've listed four, but these are just some of the things I've done this summer. A main one is working on the Methane Action Partnership. We've done a lot of work regarding a potential methane emission rule. So most recently, we did a kids event like 2 weeks ago with a partner organization, just trying to educate kids and their families about the importance of clean air and a methane emission rule. My supervisor, Lauren, also did a testimony about the methane emission rule that I collaborated with her to write. We also did a lot of work on protective injection well ordinances. So my main role in this was outreach. We reached out to a ton of municipal leaders in our area to explain the importance of protective ordinances. And then Lauren did a webinar educating these leaders. And then we've done a lot of work on data centers. We did tabling this past week, but more generally, like educating the community on the harms that this poses to the environment they're placed within. So there was a data center webinar as well a couple weeks ago. And then one of my main projects has been an oil and gas waste project. Lauren, basically at the beginning of our internship, wanted me to do basically like a summer long project on ultimately anything I wanted, but we ended up doing it on oil and gas waste disposal, specifically on the effect it has on the workers in the industry and the truckers. So I'm finishing up a policy memo on that right now, and then that'll be shortened into a blog that I believe will be posted on the website at some point.
Yeah, and I know Lauren has you doing that project. Do you think it was important to you to have a project that you could work on in addition to like the other types of work, or was it, did you find it difficult to juggle all the different things you were working on?
No, I really enjoy doing it, especially because everything plays into one another in, some part. So while I was doing the project, I'm on, calls that are talking directly about, what I'm trying to research. So it actually like what the other projects I was doing was aiding this policy memo. So I feel like it only helped, and it was really nice to like direct attention to one thing as well. And it's super like fulfilling and satisfying to see like something completed at the end of your internship, which it will be in 2 weeks. So
Yeah, yeah. And I know Lauren had lots of wonderful things to say about your time here. And the cool thing is, Lauren was an intern back in the day for another similar organization here in Pittsburgh. So it's kind of nice that she got that experience and then can bring that into her mentorship of you, which is kind of exciting. She's had the same experiences that you've had. So we talked a lot about how fostering that education is really important. So thank you, Sophia. And next up, we have Connor. Go ahead, Connor. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, so my name's Connor. I grew up around the Pittsburgh area, and I've always been interested in nature and the environment around me. And then looking at all the environmental issues and the climate change issues we have, climate justice, all of these different issues that are presenting not only Pittsburgh, but the entire globe. I've decided that I want to make it my study in college to go after environmental science to try to tackle some of these issues. Um, so I chose Protect PT because during well, first of all, it was a nonprofit, so that means the whole dedication of this organization is to help others and to be a charitable organization for the folks in their community. And then during the interview, I interviewed with Yvonne and Natalie. They were just some of the nicest people I'd ever met. And you could just feel the passion through the interview. They were upset with the problems in their communities. They were truly passionate about the stuff they were working on. And that really, I guess it gravitated me towards Protect PT. So I was extremely happy when I got the position. And throughout my time here, I've completely enjoyed it. There hasn't been anything at all that we've done that hasn't interested me or that hasn't been something that I have taken away from with a smile on my face. So that's kind of the background of me. I have a minor in philosophy, or I'm doing a minor in philosophy at school at Pitt, as well as a certificate in GIS. Those are just sort of side projects outside of the environmental science.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Connor. And actually, we're going to introduce Brooke, and then we're going to have you guys tag team and talk about the projects you've been doing together. Because the cool thing about having two interns with one subject is that they get to work together. So let me introduce Brooke Forney. Go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Brooke. Brooker, can you hear me? Are you able to unmute yourself? Uh-oh, we might have lost Brooke. Okay. Well, Brooke might be having some technical issues. I'm not really sure. If she can get back on, that would be great. Maybe try to hop off and hop back on, and we'll try to do some stuff on the back end. I'm not sure if maybe her internet is not working, but yeah. All right. And Connor, are you still there, or did you hop off?
I'm here. I was texting Brooke to. Oh, there she
Oh,
is.
cool. There she is. Brooke,
Okay,
hi.
sorry, I could see everything, so I don't know why my connection was just bad, but sorry, I thought I
That's
was
okay.
connected, but sorry about that.
No
So
worries.
my name is Brooke. So I am Protect PT's other environmental science and research intern. So a little bit about me: I'm entering my senior year at Pitt, and I'm majoring in ecology and evolution, and I'm trying to get a certificate in sustainability. So growing up, I've always really loved just wildlife and animals. So I feel like I've developed a strong passion for wildlife, and I find the roles like the animals play in maintaining like healthy ecosystems and environments. I find it very important. So my goal for my future is I really want to understand and work on protecting biodiversity.
And you both are working with Yvonne and Mina. Mina's our part-time environmental science assistant, and Yvonne's our environmental scientist. So tell me a little bit about this slide and what you guys have been working on together.
Yeah, so this is one of the projects we've been doing. We've been doing a couple of others, but we've been looking at pitcairn and the VOCs, which are volatile organic compounds that are in the air, which are unhealthy for humans and other species. So we've been taking data from the ESDR website, from sensors in people's yards and in spaces. And then we've been trying to do some data analysis on it. So we've been looking at patterns with seasons and temperature, time of day, day of the week, and we're trying to find patterns that we can contribute to a certain cause, or that we can contribute to anything at all, just to try to find some causal pattern with these VOCs. And then on top of this, we also have monitors that are installed in residents of Penn Trafford and the surrounding areas in their homes. And so we take the readings from the past week, and we every single week we send them an email. We let them know when these VOCs spiked, when they were low, how the levels looked. And so we do that to kind of inform them, so they can also look into patterns, look at when they start to spike, let them know, if levels get very high. That way they have an idea and they can look into that. So these, the VOCs and the monitors and the readings and the data analysis, all of this, it all works together. And Brooke and I have been doing various work with this.
Nice. And I know that it's not just stuff in front of a computer. It's not just stuff in our office, but also you get to go out in the field. Brooke, do you want to tell me a little bit about your time when you were out in the field with Yvonne and the team?
Yeah, so a big part of our internship is doing field work, and it's really cool to be able to see like the data that's already been collected, like to see how we get that data and to actually be able to be the ones to get it. So really, this includes just going out into the communities and specifically taking the data. We primarily have done so far water monitoring specifically near the areas that are affected by fracking and leachate runoff. You can see on the first picture on the left, there's me and Yvonne. And like Jillian said, she's an environmental scientist at Protect PT. And you can see there she's showing me one of our equipment. And that's our monitor that is it takes more specific readings than our regular air monitors. It takes specific like particulate matter readings. And then in the middle picture, you can see that's me again, and you can see me holding the stage stick, which actually me and Connor, we made those. But basically, we use those to measure the stage of the specific water sites that we're monitoring. And then in the last picture on the right, it's kind of cut off, but you can see there's Connor. He's using the sonde water equipment, and that monitors different levels of things in the water like conductivity, deoxygenated water percentage, pH, and temperature. And so through collecting the data on different water sites, we can analyze the differences in the data. But by doing this, we can see like the actual effects that the injection wells and the leachate, what that's actually doing to the water and to the communities.
Yeah, and so when you were out in the field, what was I guess your favorite part about going out with Yvonne and the team? Maybe Brooke and then Connor.
I think it's really interesting to see like whenever we go out in the field, it's always to the most like random spots like off the side of the road where you would have no idea that there's water running through there. And it's really cool to see like how all of these waterways connect and really how like all of these chemicals can so easily unfortunately go into this water that's drinking water for all these people. So
Yeah, Connor, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, for sure. You know, as important as the computer work is, being out in the field and being in nature, even if it is, like Brooke said, kind of just like a random spot off the side of the road, being in an important habitat, not only for humans, but also for the entire ecosystem around us. That's kind of the whole reason you do environmentalism, to be out in nature and doing the work. And then Yvonne is an incredible teacher. She teaches us everything we need to know about both the equipment and the data. And then, she'll give us the explanations about the ecosystems and how this impacts this, which impacts this. And I've learned so much being out in the field. So yeah, everything Brooke said, and then also just being able to be out in nature.
Yeah, I second that. Yvonne is an incredible teacher. And we recently actually had a workshop that she led here at our office, trying to teach folks that wanted to do this type of stream monitoring in their backyard. So those are the types of environmental science programs that we offer in addition to our team going out and monitoring some of these sites. We do occasionally train other folks to do the same thing, which is really cool. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely go to our website and check that out. Any kind of upcoming events that we're going to have. And now, before we hop off today, I just had some questions that kind of came to mind as I was thinking about the internships, and we always try to do kind of they all check in with their supervisors, the head of their department, which is sometimes only one person because we're a small team here. Every week, they have check-ins with their people that are helping coordinate everything in their internship with them. But it's always good to find out overall, how the internship is going. So I did prepare some questions. I know you guys maybe had a chance to think about this ahead of time, but I'm just going to start with Sophia, and we'll just move down the line. And so if you want to kind of tell me a little bit about what was the most surprising thing about interning for Protect PT, something that you've learned that you'll carry throughout your future of your career and work, your favorite part about the internship, and then last, what advice would you give new interns coming into this role?
Yeah. Starting with most surprising thing, I think something that almost all of us has mentioned, but how much like Protect PT does in so many different areas. I think from the surface, like coming into Protect PT, it is a relatively small staff, but like from just the first day in the first staff meeting, it's almost like overwhelming how much like a small amount of people do on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. And it's been so impressive to watch, and like so awesome to be a part of and try and help for a summer. One thing I learned, I would say, I mean, I've learned so much, but I think generally, like how you make a difference in individuals' lives is like through organizations like Protect BT and all of their partner organizations that I've had a chance to work with a lot of them. Like, organizations like this are what fill the gap of what the government often fails to do for individuals. And it truly is like small companies like this that individuals look for change and for help when they need it. And that's something like I'll be, hopefully in this industry for a while. So that's something that I'll never forget. And it's, again, been awesome to try and help for the past summer. Favorite part, I loved so much about this internship, but I think for the most part, it was like working with really passionate people. Like, you really aren't in this industry, especially Protect BT, if you don't love it and if you aren't passionate about it. And it really is like more than a job for a lot of these people. And for me specifically, I've gotten to work with Lauren directly, and I feel like we've been able to collaborate, which is maybe something you don't get when you're interning for a bigger company, is that like direct one-on-one time that I've had with Lauren, and feeling like you're actually involved in what this company is doing, and really like collaborating with her. So that's been awesome. And also just to like learn from everyone, all the staff here, who's been in this industry for a while. And then advice, I would say just try and learn as much as you can from everyone working here. Like, have a positive attitude, be willing to learn about a ton of different things, try and take in as much as you can from like all the meetings you're in. But yeah, just try and like learn from your supervisor and the staff working here as much as you can.
Nice. Thank you so much for that. We're going to have Kyle go, or I'm sorry, Connor go next, then Mackenzie, and then round it out with Brooke. So, Connor, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I completely agree about the most surprising thing. It's just how much work Protect BT actually does. Um, you know, in one single day that I'm at the office, I think there's more projects that I hear about that I just can't keep track of. I go home and I forget everything that I heard about, or I join a meeting and there's more projects, more things going on than I can remember. And then the next day, it's the same thing all over again. It's brand new things that I just have never heard about before. So it's like she said, it's a small staff, but you guys do an incredible amount of work. And then I'd say the thing that I'll carry through to my future work and career, every single day, same thing. I learn a lot of things that will stick with me the rest of my life and the rest of my career. But I'd say the most important things that I've learned have been working in an organization. So being organized, communicating with others, knowing how to share things and communicate things properly, knowing how to divide work up, how to set people up for success, things like that. And like I said, in a small organization like this, being able to do all of those things are extremely important. And I think that system is set pretty well at Protect PT. My favorite part of the internship, there's been a lot of great parts, but I think last week was probably my favorite part. It was me, Brooke, and Yvonne went out into the field together. So we spent the whole day. It was like a field trip. We drove to the testing sites. We did our testing, learned about the area. Yvonne kind of took us around, and we saw the area outside of where we were testing and how they were related to each other. And then we got Starbucks together. We went to the office. We did all the the cleanup and the post field work stuff. So, like I said, it was more like a field trip than it was like work. It didn't feel like I was going into the office for a day. It felt like I was, it was better than a day off, really. And then the advice I would give to interns coming into this role or future interns, I guess it would just be, you put in what you put in is what you get out of this internship. The more you work, the more you care about it, the more you try. These are all skills. Like every single thing you do at this internship is a skill that you will need at some point for some job, most likely. So whatever you put in, that's what you'll get out of this internship. And so the projects that I've been working on, I've been trying to do as best as I can and push myself out of my comfort zone to learn some new skills and get experience that I can use later on.
Nice. Yeah, you definitely learn a lot of stuff while you're here. Mackenzie, what do you think?
Sure. So I think what I was thinking echoes Sophia and Connor as well, that the most surprising thing is how much we do and how much we spread ourselves to make sure our capacity fits the needs of our community. I think if I want to go more specifically into the legal team, what was most surprising to me is how many moving parts there are, and especially how many things hinge off of one another. I think, for example, we have a lot of cases related to fracking injection wells. And some of these cases are later, some of them are earlier, but some of the later cases depend on the earlier decisions and such. And so I think that was really surprising to me to see how those all stacked up against one another. And then one thing I think that I learned that I'll carry throughout the future is my legal writing skills, especially as someone who just came off their first year of law school. You only write a couple big papers, and that's kind of it for your grade and what you learn. But especially working with Dylan, because so many cases are coming through and issues, I've gotten to write a lot of memos for him, and he has been very helpful with the feedback he's given me, whether that's for the way I write or citations or what I can do to improve. And that has honestly been so helpful to me, and I know it'll help me in the future. And then I think my favorite part of the internship is also kind of echoing what's the most surprising thing is how many things I've gotten to do. I know I've talked a lot about, again, like fracking injection wells, but also getting to canvas and look at these other parts of like water and the Beaver Run Reservoir. And then also I've looked at a little bit of like easements and oil and gas infrastructure. And so I think that I've gotten to learn a lot because going into this, I was thinking that like I knew some of the things, but hearing just the lingo used every day and different ways people describe things, I think it's been very helpful for me to like acclimate to the environmental law field. And then I think my advice to incoming interns would be to ask if you're interested in something. I think there are a lot of different things going on in the office. And even though I primarily work on the legal team with Dylan and Jim, I think there are a lot of opportunities for me to learn in other ways. I think, for example, Yvonne last week did the Department of Environmental Protection documents training. And so even though that was more environmental science focused, maybe, she still invited me and I got the chance to be a part of it.
Yeah, nice. And yeah, I got a lot of great feedback on your memos from Dylan. So good, good work there, Mackenzie. Yeah. And it sounds like everybody so far has enjoyed their internship. Brooke, what do you think about everything that we've got going on here?
So to start, what I think is most surprising, I would also agree with everyone about how many projects there are constantly circulating at Protect PT. But also another thing that was very surprising to me, that I never really thought about before is how complex the issues of fracking are and how like complex fighting back against it is. Like as you can see, it takes so many teams at this organization to fight back against all these issues in the community. So I think that was very surprising. And learning more of the environmental science side of it it's just very surprising. Um, One thing that I've learned that I'll carry with me throughout my future career is I would say that passion can really drive you, and passion can take you anywhere. Um, and how important that is to put into your job. And my favorite part of my internship so far, I would say, is being able to see like all these things that I've learned throughout my classes, like being able to actually put it into like my work and seeing it out in the field, and right in front of me. And advice that I would give to interns coming into this role in the future, I would say is to like always ask questions, and to try everything, and see what you're good at and what you enjoy. For instance, like when me and Connor were working on creating graphs or creating different images out of the data that we saw from the VOC monitors. I noticed that as hard as I could try, I was not very good at creating graphs or anything. Connor was so much better at that than me. So just being able to see like where we can both step up or give each other a chance to, balance it out. So
Yeah, and it sounds like you had a great opportunity to learn from each other, and that's, I think, one of the things that we do actually internally as a team too. We're constantly learning from each other, which is really great. And I'm really happy. It sounds like that you all had a good experience here, and we're able to learn a lot that will carry you through your career. We are a small team, but we do a lot of work. That is totally true. And yeah, it sounds like this is hopefully going to be something that you'll remember as you move forward in your career, for sure. And I don't know, maybe we'll see some of you again if Sophia, if you end up going to law school and come back for a law internship, that would be great. We actually have had some of our interns go on to work for larger organizations. We've had some of our interns actually come back to work for us for a while. Yeah, so whatever you choose to do in your future, I hope that there are lessons that you've learned here that you can take with you and move throughout your career. So that is our hope and that is our goal. And I think in the beginning, I told you that you're not going to be fetching coffee. You're going to actually be doing projects and working on some really tangible work. And I hope that was your experience. And it sounds like it was. So mission accomplished for our team, for sure. I want to thank everybody here for your time, not just for the folks that are tuning in on our YouTube, but also our interns. You are a huge and essential part of the success that we have as a team. You are really, truly a part of our team during the summer, and we're, excited that you were able to join us this summer. And we do have our next Lunch and Learn actually coming up at the end of August. That's August 26th. And we're doing things a little bit different. So I just want to tell everyone really quick that we're going to do this in more of a webinar format. So you do have to register ahead of time. That's very different from our previous Lunch and Learns where you can just hop onto YouTube. This is, we're going to be doing a film screening with a local filmmaker, and this is a private film screening, so it won't be available on YouTube until the whole film is released. So that's really exciting. The filmmaker Mark Dixon, he is a local advocate and local filmmaker here in Pittsburgh, and we really hope you join us. You can look for all that information on our website, and then also follow us on social media and tell us what you thought in our Lunch and Learn survey. Thank you to all of our interns for all your work throughout the summer. It was really wonderful meeting you all this summer and getting to know you. And I'm happy to hear that our team, it sounds like, had a really enriching and useful experience for you while you were here. And wonderful luck this fall to all of you that are going to be continuing school this fall. And for all of our viewers, thanks again for watching us. And that's it. We'll see you again next month. Take care.